In a game plagued with cards that say flash as a keyword, we do have to wonder, in Magic the Gathering's most casual format, why is the card flash banned, but not the mechanic? And today, on Casual Compliance, we might answer that question if it's picked on the wheel. I'm Gramps.
I'm Chili Ben.
And we're hoping that Flash is picked today on the wheel.
Well, you are. I didn't know that going into this.
Yeah, Flash as the card is banned, but
So,
the mechanic is not.
What is the... I mean, no, we can't talk about it.
We can't talk about it.
Like, I really
Not for the
wanted to
episode.
ask what it does because I can't remember. But we have to wait for it to come out.
I do know what it does. Anyway, welcome to Casual Compliance, where, exactly as we've said, we will spin a wheel. It will show us a card that is on the current Commander ban list, minus the cards that we've already shown. And we'll discuss it, we'll have a look at it and see what it does, why it might be banned, and we'll discuss that. We'll try and think off the top of the heads the way we would play it in a way that, supports it being banned. Then we'll go away, we'll do a bit of research, we'll come back, we'll talk, and we'll come to the ultimate decision that although I'm 0-3, I'm pretty sure this card that we're going to talk about today will be unbanned.
You watch it be like Paradox Engine or something.
That's
disgusting.
It's the most unbannable card. It's the Paradox Engine. There are so many cards.
No, save it. Save it for the Paradox Engine episode.
But yeah, Chili and I was, one day sat down and I was like, hey, do you think Caracas could be unbanned? And we kind of talked it out, and we got to this point where we thought, let's make a show about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. We both play Casual Commander a lot, and we both are pretty good at building decks, and we both feel like we have a good grasp of the culture of the game.
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, I don't know. I feel like you're painting me in a way that, no, that is fair.
It is fair.
Think, yeah. I was trying to think like...
It was only positives
Well,
there.
yeah, but it feels like a big claim to be like, we build decks well. It's like, I wouldn't say that about myself.
No, you do.
Okay.
You really do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I taught you how to play.
Well,
anyway, let's get to the wheel.
Yeah. Please, before I get more awkward.
I'm sick. Let's go. Start recording this wheel, which is different to the other wheel.
Yeah.
It's the same colours as the last wheel, though, because we're filming this on the exact same day.
Don't tell people that.
The wheel is spinning.
Trying to keep the mystique alive.
Okay.
What do we got?
Tolarian Academy.
Professor?
The Professor's Academy is banned on the list. Let's talk about Tolarian Academy.
I don't want the Professor to get cancelled, man. I like his channel.
He is an old man sometimes, though. But
excuse me?
He's an old dude. Anyway, if the Professor, you're watching this, I'm sorry I've said that. Please come on in our show.
You seem like a nice man.
You really do.
Yeah.
I kind of hope I run into him in Seattle. I doubt I will. I'm going to America, but Anyway,
yeah.
Tolarian Academy is a legendary land.
Okay.
From the set that is 2 gears, so I think that's Urza's.
Legacy? I think. Urza's Legacy?
I think so.
I've looked at a few cards from that set recently.
Yeah. And it is tap, add blue mana to your mana pool for each artifact you control. It's Blue Gaia's Cradle.
Come on now.
It's Blue Gaia's Cradle. So, straight out the gate.
Urza High Lord High Artificer. Like any Urza deck makes a lot of fucking artifacts.
Well, it's from Urza's Legacy.
Yeah.
But it's Blue Gaia's Cradle. I've said that, and you're just going to flash up every time I say it.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. I'm just going to say immedially, I do not understand why this card is banned when Gaia's Cradle is legal.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm probably, people are going to say apples to oranges in chat.
Yeah.
And if you think it is apples to oranges in chat, say it in chat, please. We need the engagement.
And also, we'll respond and tell you why you're wrong.
Well, I'll probably say why you're wrong. But yeah, anyway.
The show will tell you.
It's apples to oranges. That's not apples to oranges. It's the same thing.
So legendary lands are interesting because we don't see them a lot.
No.
I think because there are a lot of cards that interact with if a legendary something or other triggers blah blah blah. I think we saw a few in the Lord of the Rings sets.
Yes, because Barad-dûr was in there and
Minas
a few other.
Tirith and things like that.
But Castle Ironbridge and all that stuff as well.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I think. All right, so it taps for blue for each artifact.
Mm-hmm.
Artifacts are extremely easy to produce.
Yes.
Especially in blue or Azorius.
Yeah. Treasure tokens.
Academy Manufactor,
Yep.
for example, turns 1 into 3.
Mm-hmm.
Power Stones after Brothers War became like pretty easy to come by.
Yep.
Because they were like, look, they come in tapped, so we're going to let you generate a ton of them really quickly.
Yeah, playing in Esper.
And this doesn't care about those artifacts are tapped. It's just like, oh, you can just have a blue mana for that shit.
Yeah, and playing in Esper, you know, Revel and Riches.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's a black card, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, Esper.
That's right.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
White, blue, black.
Yeah. I mean, I see why this is banned. That's a lot of mana.
I don't see why this is banned. Because Gaia's Cradle. I'm going to keep pointing back to it because
it's a green. It's a green for each creature.
Yes, and in my opinion, it's a green for each forest.
No, it's for each creature because I thought that as well, but then when I did the edit for episode 1, I had to look at Gaia's Cradle a whole bunch. I was like, oh yeah, that's what that does.
Yeah, but still, it's very easy to get a lot of green creatures down. In the same way you would run this in Azorius artifacts or mono blue artifacts with like, you know, Jingataxias pieces and whatever. In green you run
Mondrak, 1 token becomes 3.
Well, do that in green.
Is it 3?
Yeah, 2. But Oja attack.
That's the one.
And I know I've said that I know I've said that wrong, but I don't remember the
O'Hare.
O'Hare attack.
Yeah, like the Chicago airport.
But that's OHE though. But like, you know, even in Selesnya creatures with a Gaia's Cradle, you would be doing O'Hare and Mondrak and doubling season's not in here. There's Primeval Bounty, all of these ways that Gaia's Cradle can be just as broken.
Yeah. Yeah.
With, you know, arguably at times less effort. You know, parallel lives.
True. I mean, that cost like what, 4 or 5?
Yeah, but still, like.
Yeah, if you've got like reliable creature token generation.
In the same way.
There's a bunch of white creatures that'll do that for you.
Yeah, in the same way if you've got reliable artifact creature like generation.
Yeah.
I just don't think it should be banned.
I mean, look.
I think I've got a slam dunk here.
Like when you read the text of what that card does, I was so immediately like, "Yep, next episode."
Really? Really? I just think I'm in the right here.
Like, remember every Urza commander deck you've played against, and how many fucking artifacts?
You mean against? You mean the ones I play? Because I really am the Esper player in the group.
That's true. No, you didn't have an Urza deck.
No, I had the Urza deck that was the pre-con, and I upgraded it to hell.
Yes.
I would also put this in Urtet.
Yeah, dude.
Remnant of Remnant.
Yeah.
All my Mers.
Fuck, of course. I didn't even think of that angle of like Wooburg decks.
But imagine having Gaias and Tolarians.
Bruh. Ban this more, actually.
Let's go into our research phase.
Ban Gaia's Cradle?
I think unban, you think ban.
I think I'm going to leave because we don't need to have this conversation, but let's do some research anyway. Hey there, research fans. Chilibin here in the studio. Tolarian Academy is so wild that it affected our usual research process. I'm going to give you some insight into what that looked like with a few clips here. Banned in Legacy, banned in Oathbreaker, banned in Commander, restricted in Vintage.
The thing is, we're not going to have like a time for you to cut in syntax, Daddy. It's going to have to be like a proper cut.
Bro, it's $115 US.
And it's banned in every format.
Here.
This card is so fucking broken.
And here.
No, you might be thinking, Lewis, why aren't you doing your research? It's because I already know that I've lost this argument. Because I actually think it should be banned as well, but don't tell anyone that.
Now, as broken as Tolarian Academy seems to be, I thought today we could try to find some similar effects based on how many artifacts you control. So we're going to do a search that looks a bit like this. We're going to look for Commander legal cards, and we're going to look for the phrase for each artifact. What that's going to bring us is 47 cards in a variety of color identities. I'm particularly fond of something like Cavern Horde Dragon. It's, you know, a 7 and 2 red dragon that is a 6 power, 6 toughness, but it costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest number of artifacts an opponent controls, so you might get that out for 2 if somebody in your pod is playing a lot of artifacts. But what I wanted to actually show you is a card called Storm the Vault. Storm the Vault, printed in Rivals of Ixalan, is a legendary enchantment for 2 generic mana and a blue and a red. It says whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. We should all be familiar with treasure tokens by now. They're pretty ubiquitous within Commander. But at the beginning of your end step, if you control 5 or more artifacts, transform Storm the Vault. And what I really want to show you is the backside of Storm the Vault. So Storm the Vault flips into a legendary land called Vault of Catlacan. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. First effect, tap to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Pretty stock standard sort of land stuff. The second effect, though, is the real juice. Tap to add blue to your mana pool for each artifact you control. Sounds pretty familiar. What you've got here is Tolarian Academy with a bit of extra work. Obviously, it's the backside of a card, so you can't necessarily blink it to abuse anything. If you were to blink it, it would come back as the front side, but you still get a pretty juicy amount of mana if you're running this in a deck where you might otherwise run something like Tolarian Academy. So just a short one from me this time. Just a reminder that if you see a banned card you like, chances are you can find something that gets pretty close and is still legal in Commander. Anyway, back to the episode.
Welcome back to Casual Compliance. If you like what you see here right now, why don't you check us out on Twitter @Compliance Show, or on TikTok @Casual Compliance, YouTube @Casual Compliance, Patreon.com/Casual Compliance. We're going to use it as a bit of a blog, and eventually, we might get income from it.
We might do some other stuff, yeah.
Anyway, today we're talking about Tolarian Academy,
Yeah.
which is a rare legendary land printed in 1998 in the Urza Saga set. I'm pretty sure it was Urza Saga.
Yep.
The banning reason.
Yeah, please.
What we all want to know. Just to remind you, it's a legendary land. Taps. When you tap it, you add blue to your mana pool for each artifact you control. It's a Gaea's Cradle, but for artifacts.
Yeah.
The ban here says, Tolarian Academy's power is tied to the abundance and ease of access to cheap artifacts in the earlier stages of the game. This often creates 2 or more colored mana on turn 1 and continues to scale throughout the game with no downside or additional costs at untap. And this was banned in June of 2010.
Yep.
Now, before we get to your research,
I got a lot of tabs open. What's up?
I'm going to plead a case here.
Okay.
Please unban it. Please.
Why?
Pretty please unban it. I need one.
Have you got $120
Yes.
to buy one?
Yes.
Then you can play it in Vintage where it is restricted. You can have one of them.
Well, it's a legendary land. You wouldn't want more than one anyway.
Yeah, true.
I actually don't see a way that this can be unbanned.
No, because as I'm going to try and demonstrate, artifacts are incredibly easy to do.
And so broken at
and
times.
So heavily tied to blue. Like a lot of what I found was blue, white. A couple of them had red in there, but it's mostly coming from the blue.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to run through a whole fucking gauntlet of reasons to keep this banned. Some of them stronger than others. First one I found is from Double Masters, Brutaclad Telcor Engineer.
Which is what I play in Urtet, yeah.
At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 2/1 blue mer artifact creature token. So right there, every turn you're getting one. That's just reliable ramp. Then you may choose a token you control. If you do, each other token you control becomes a copy of it. So you just, like, everything becomes a copy of an artifact creature token that you're creating every turn. Bad. Next one that I just think is like similar but kind of just interesting is Drafna, founder of Latnam from Brothers War. It has 2 effects, 1 and a blue, return target artifact you control to your owner's hand. Not why this is here. The other one, 3 and tap Drafna, copy target artifact spell you control. So you're getting multiple artifacts. Great, that's fun. How about Galazeth Prismari from Strixhaven? When it enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Artifacts you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color, spend it only to cast an instant or sorcery. So you're turning your artifacts into mana rocks and enabling Tolarian Academy.
Yeah.
You mentioned it, your friend and mine, Jin Gataxia's Progress Tyrant.
Yes. Whenever I play in Urtet as well.
Whenever you cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for it. Whenever an opponent casts an artifact, instant or sorcery, counter it once per turn. It's similar to Drafna, like you're getting an extra one of the same thing. Let's keep going. How about Memnarch? You ever seen Memnarch?
Yes, I have. I want to put one in my Urtet deck.
It is a 7-cost legendary artifact creature wizard, but it has colored abilities. So I guess it's a blue color identity.
It is.
So it's a 4/5 legendary artifact wizard. First ability, 1 blue. Target permanent becomes an artifact in addition to its other types.
Yep.
So you're just turning, and that doesn't wear off.
Nope.
That's just, it is an artifact.
Yep. Liquid Metal Talk, same
and then
thing.
the other one, 3 and a blue, gain control of target artifact. So you're stealing artifacts from other people and turning more of your shit.
Thanks for your Sol Ring.
Yep. So that's just increasing your artifact count. That's great. Psi Master Thopterist
Yep.
from Commander Masters, but also way back from like
BRC
Core
as
Set
well.
2019, and it's a little bit of an older card. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token. So for every artifact, you get 2. And 1 in a blue, sacrifice 2 artifacts, draw a card. That is actually kind of just a neat.
And it's going
card.
into Esper artifacts or Azorius artifacts, so you've got Mondrak in there to double it.
Here's the one that I think is actually like the most interesting way to take this.
This is what I'm excited about.
Tetsun Gnome Champion from the
Ixalan.
Lost Caverns of Ixalan Commander. It's a fucking wall of text and it's double-sided, so bear with me. It's a blue, red, white, 2/2 legendary artifact creature gnome. Whenever Tetsun or another double-faced artifact enters the battlefield under your control, mill 3 cards. You may put an artifact card from among them into your hand. That's just interesting. Like double-faced artifacts, what are we talking about? Like incubators?
There's a lot of double-faced artifacts. There's the clay one as well. It's a white one, but also like you've got one for me for my artifact deck where like the flip side generates artifact golems for the amount of that are power and toughness, the amount of artifacts you control.
So there's that, and then it has craft with 6 artifacts for 4. So you pay 4, exile Tetsun plus 6, exile the 6 from among other permanents you control and/or cards from your graveyard, and then return Tetsun flipped, which if I transform this, it gives you the Golden Gear Colossus, which is a 6/6 legendary artifact creature gnome with vigilance and trample.
Yep.
Whenever the Golden Gear Colossus enters the battlefield or attacks, transform up to 1 other target double-faced artifact you control. Create 2 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens.
And the worst.
So it hems you into double-faced artifacts a bit, but it's kind of just interesting on its own.
But also the worst thing is, say you've got this in an Urtet deck where you're playing Wooburg artifacts, or really any deck where you're playing Affinity.
I didn't even get to affinity for artifacts, but we'll get there.
Mistvault Bridge.
Yep.
All of those artifact dual lands instantly have extra value because they pump up.
Oh, dude, artifact lands. I don't even think of those.
That's why, as you were talking
indestructible
about
artifact lands.
Yeah, as you were talking about Urtet, I'm like, wow, that's actually like you would.
Okay, yeah, this card's fucked. Now I've got a 5-card run on Urza.
Okay, let's get into the Urzas.
Number 1, Urza Chief Artificer from the Brothers War Commander. Affinity for artifact creatures. So it's 3 white, blue, black for 4/5 legendary human artificer. So if you have 3 artifact creatures, this costs white, blue, black. Artifact creatures you control have menace at the beginning of your end step. Create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control.
For fuck's sakes.
Bad.
Yep.
That was like the face card from one of the precons.
That was the Urza precon.
Yeah. So number 2, Urza Lord High Artificer. I did mention this one, but this one goes back to like Modern Horizons 1.
Yeah.
A 1/4 legendary human artificer for 2 blue. When Urza Lord, I keep wanting to say High Lord, but
High
it's
Lord
High.
Artificer.
It's Lord High Artificer enters the battlefield. Create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Tap an untapped artifact you control to add blue. 5 and shuffle your library. Whatever, play the top card for free.
But it's tap an untapped artifact.
Yes.
But I just thought of how you can use Tough Domination to make infinite mana here.
I'm getting to infinites. Urza Lord Protector, which is the one that does the meld on the backside.
Yep.
It's 1 white blue for a 2/4 legendary human artificer. Artifact, instant, and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less. And then 7, so 7 generic. If you both own and control Urza Lord Protector and the Mightstone and Weakstone artifact, exile them and meld them into
the big
I mean,
Planeswalker.
I don't
gonna
actually
get half
have
the
the
Planeswalker.
backside here. There it is. There's a Planeswalker with 5 abilities. None of those are really... the 0, create 2 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature tokens. So that's a 0 ability. And you can activate loyalty abilities of that Planeswalker twice each turn. So you can get 4 per turn.
Adding extra 4 mana per turn.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Not broken.
Urza Power Stone Prodigy, not actually that relevant here. 2 and a blue for a Legendary Human Artificer, 1/3. Vigilance, 1 and tap, draw a card, then discard a card. Whenever you discard 1 or more artifact cards, create a tap Power Stone token. So like,
Okay, Power Stones still count.
yeah. So if you're doing a lot of like looting, so like draw and discard, or you're just like discarding stuff generally, you get a bunch of Power Stones. And the last one, of course, Urza Prince of Krug.
Yep.
2 white blue for a 2/3 Legendary Human Artificer. Artifact creatures you control get +2/+2. And then 6 generic mana for create a token that's a copy of target artifact you control, except it's a 1/1 soldier creature in addition to its other types. So all of this is basically just like, here's a bunch of ways to get a lot of artifacts, which makes this a problem, and is probably why it's banned, because a lot of that was very easy to do, and these, like, most expensive card there was like 4 or 5.
Exactly. And like, something like liquid metal coating, turn your own Tolarian Academy into an artifact. It's an artifact
Mycosynth
itself.
Lattice, everything's an artifact.
Mycosynth Lattice.
Gain control of all artifacts.
Untap target artifact, or, all this kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah. Now, let's get into the real heat, because I went to Commander Spellbook and I found some stuff.
Go to your infinite combos.
None of the ones I brought here have Staff of Domination.
Oh!
But they all include a card called Ghostly Flicker. Which is an instant card. It's a common, 2 and a blue. Exile 2 target artifacts, creatures, and or lands you control, then return them to the battlefield. So, this one, for example, it's a 4-card combo. Tolarian Academy, Ghostly Flicker, Jin Gataxia's Progress Tyrant, and Narset's Reversal. The prerequisites, you got to have Jin Gataxias and Tolarian Academy on the field.
Yep.
Ghostly Flicker and Narset's Reversal in hand. You control at least 3 artifacts. Easy.
Easy done.
2
treasure tokens.
And you have not copied a spell with Jin Gataxias this turn, because you can only have that effect once.
Yep.
Step 1, activate Tolarian Academy by tapping it, adding at least 3 blue from your artifacts. Step 2, cast Ghostly Flicker by paying 2 and a blue, targeting any 2 permanents. Jin Gataxias triggers, creating a copy of Ghostly Flicker targeting Jin Gataxias and Tolarian Academy. Resolve the copy of Ghostly Flicker, blinking them, so it resets the copy effect. Activate Tolarian Academy by tapping it, getting 3 more blue. Cast Narset's Reversal by paying 2 blue, targeting Ghostly Flicker, which is copy target instant or sorcery spell, then return it to its owner's hand. You may choose new targets for the copy. So you're basically just blinking this shit forever, and the results that you get are infinite blinking is the first thing, which is just... We're just going to do this for the rest of the episode.
I want to give myself a seizure with that light there.
Yeah, that's not great. So infinite blinking, infinite colored mana, infinite ETB, infinite LTB, enter the battlefield, leave the battlefield. Infinite Magecraft triggers if you want, and infinite Storm Count, obviously.
Oh!
Yeah, this card's fucked, dude.
Imagine that with 1,000-Year Storm as well.
Sure.
And Grape Shot.
Sure.
Just one Grape Shot down after.
Yeah, Jin Gataxias and Tolarian are listed here as mythics, but the other 2 are like a rare and a common.
It's the fact that you need a common for a combo piece like that.
Yeah. This one's a lot fewer steps, but very similar. You've got Ghostly Flicker and Tolarian Academy, but also Salvager of Secrets.
Yep.
Which is a Merfolk Wizard, 2/2, 3 blue. When it enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. And Will Kenrith, the Planeswalker. Because Will Kenrith's -2 ability, and try and fucking read this small text, target player draws 2 cards until your next turn, instant sorcery and Planeswalker spells cost 2 less to cast. So that's neat. But Ghostly Flicker in hand, all of those other permanents on the battlefield. Will Kenrith has at least 2 loyalty counters, and you control at least 2 artifacts. So like,
doable.
Will cost 6 to be fair. So like, there's a bit of setup there. But activate Will's -2, reducing your instants and sorceries by 2. Planeswalker spells, sorry, and draw 2 cards. Because why not? Activate Tolarian Academy by tapping it. You get 2 blue at least. Cast Ghostly Flicker by paying 1 blue, because you've reduced it by 2 from Will. Yep.
Yep.
And you're targeting Tolarian Academy and Salvager of Secrets. Blinking them, Salvager of Secrets enters, returning ghostly flicker to your hand.
Infinite
And
mana.
yeah, the same effects, like infinite blue mana, infinite enter the
That one's actually
battlefield.
kind of feels easier than
It
the
is.
Jig
Yeah,
Attacks
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. And these cards are probably easier to come by.
Yep.
And then there was another one, but it's basically the same thing.
It's all infinite.
Yeah. Yeah, because like instead of will, it's Mana Matrix, which is a 6-cost artifact that says instant and enchantment spells you cost are 2 less.
So what we've learnt today
Uh-huh.
is that Gaia's Cradle is not the most broken legendary land.
No.
Tolarian.
Yeah.
Tolarian
That's
is
insane.
wild. The last episode we did was almost like a on the fence.
That one was dicey.
That one was dicey. This is just fucked.
I didn't even need to do research to know why it needs to stay banned, but now it's like, oh yeah, this is insane. Why did they make this?
Yeah.
Why do they print it at all?
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about the state of the game when it was printed. Because it was printed pretty early.
It was a long time ago.
It was the game like it was 6 cost for a 3/3, and artifacts weren't all that common.
No, true.
And then don't forget Apocalypse Chime. Everyone wanted to be able to play that. That's the one where you remove all homeland guards from the game.
Oh yeah.
Good card design.
What a wild time.
It's got to stay banned.
Yeah, no shit.
It's got to stay banned.
Sorry, Professor, I guess.
This is a rare one from me.
Yeah.
It's a very rare one. The reason I think
Can I put 2 points on the board?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
I won't. That's not.
No, but you can the asterisk from the gifts ungiven can be removed.
Oh, it's basically just balanced it out.
It's balanced it out.
Yeah.
The look, I think in terms of fixing this, it would need to be removable. You would need to be able to remove it or to counter it. It would need to be like an artifact.
No,
not
I feel
a land.
like it's like tap and exile it, and then you get that mana.
Oh yeah, tap sack.
Yeah.
Get all that mana.
Because it's High Tide.
Yeah.
High Tide is it when you tap a land for blue, you get 1 extra?
Yes.
Yeah. So that like doesn't really boost this too much.
No.
Because like when you're playing that in a blue deck, it turns islands into 2 mana, which effectively doubles it. But for something like this, it's 1 card producing X.
And don't forget, if you play this in something like a Simic deck or like a Bant deck, you've got the cards that double or triple the amount of mana you're generating.
Like a Nyx Bloom Ancient, dude.
Literally, Nyx Bloom Ancient comes out, and you so we've got a banned one. They've got officially we have one that is fully banned and must remain banned. The rest are up in question.
I didn't even think of this with Nyx Bloom Ancient.
My name's Gramps. I've been Gramps.
My name's Chilibin, and Tolarian Academy is a fucking war crime.
If you think it should be unbanned and you can tell me why,
Yeah, please.
plead for it in the chat.
Please.
Come to us on Twitter at Compliance Show. Come to us on TikTok, on Patreon, on YouTube.
The comments under this video.
It's just like
if you're
at
watching.
Casual Compliance. If you're listening to us on Spotify, find us on those things or on whatever apps you listen and that we're on, because I'm not sure still.
Yeah.
We'll find that out eventually. Let us know. Email us, casualcompliance@gmail.com. Just tell us what you think.
Yeah.
I can't be unbanned.
It kind of makes me want to go and find gameplay of vintage games to see someone running this, just to see how crazy it is.
That's something we can look up later.
Yeah. Bye.
Fuck's sake.
Stay in school.